If your stock grill isn't quite cutting it any more than the Red Rock Baja grill we have here will bring a welcome change to the front end of your 2015 to 2017 F-150. Featuring much more aggressive style and integrated lighting, this is an easy way to change up the front end of your truck and give it some of that off-road flavor for an affordable price tag. Now I know it doesn't seem like it, but this gen of F-150 has been around for a long time now. And if you've been rocking your truck in stock form for a while, or you just want to set it apart, this grill from Red Rock is going to appeal to you. As you can see, it features an open honeycomb pattern top and bottom, reminiscent of Ford's own Raptor, or a truck you might find pulling off jumps out in the desert, hence that Baja part of the name. Now it also comes with some additional lighting. You've got 3 amber LEDs right up here at the top edge of the grill to add to that signature off-road look. And they integrate with your daytime running lights for seamless functionality, so when you switch your truck on, these are going to light up. You also get these large C-shaped LEDs around the outer edges of the grill, and they have a cool trick up their sleeve. They too will function as daytime running lights, putting out a nice diffused white light as you cruise along. However, switch to the turn signal and the corresponding side will switch to amber as well, functioning as a turn signal repeater. And with these being so large, no one will be able to claim that they miss you signaling. And they're also sequential turn signals too, which is even more eye-catching, even if it doesn't add anything functionally. Now this is going to be a bolt-in replacement for your stock grill as well, so you can just put this right on without having to modify anything on the truck itself. If you're going for that blacked out theme, this is going to look right at home with the matte black finish that it has. And unlike a lot of other aftermarket grills out there, this one actually retains the blue oval badge in the center. You'll have to swap yours over or grab a new one, but either way, it will look even more seamlessly integrated than it would without the badge. Construction here is ABS plastic for the majority of the grill, so this is strong, lightweight, and it's durable. That matte black finish comes just as you see it right out of the box, so you can mount it right up, but since it is ABS plastic, you've got the option to get this painted pretty easily. The LEDs are all weather sealed against the elements, so they should have a nice long lifespan. And since this was designed using OEM CAD data from Ford themselves, it'll fit right in place of your stock grill. Coming in at about $250, this is one of the more affordable replacement grills on the market. And with the aggressive styling and the inclusion of the LED lighting, I think there's no denying that this one is a good value. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you should plan on spending about 2 hours to get this installed. It's definitely something a DIYer can handle at home. Everything you need comes right in the box. You are going to have to run a little bit of wiring to get things ready to go and have all your lights working the way they're supposed to. But it's pretty simple stuff. You get all the wiring harnesses that you need and even Scotch lock connectors to make the job nice and easy. Plus, we're going to walk you through the entire process step by step. So for that, let's head on over to the install bay.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, clip remover tool, wire strippers and crimpers, scissors or diagonal cutters, flathead screwdriver, extension, 7, 8, 10, and 13 millimeter sockets, some zip ties, zip tie clips, male spade connectors, T-taps, and the test light. What's up guys? Today we're installing a front grille on our F-150. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your grille as well as your headlights, and then we'll meet you right back here for the install.
Now in order to get our headlights out of the way, we have to remove this trim panel below the headlight, hugging the fender and the wheel well liner. So grab a 7 millimeter socket and a ratchet and remove these 2 screws inside the wheel well. Now the top side of that trim panel under the hood, so pop your hood, you're going to remove this plastic push pin clip or that plastic rivet. I'm going to use a panel removal tool for this, which I find to be a little easier. You can also use a small flathead screwdriver. Just want to get up underneath that top portion and pull it up. Just like that. You can go underneath of it, pull it up in one piece. All right, from here we can pull back on this plastic panel on both sides. So grab your hand in the wheel well liner, and you're just going to pull back just like that and set it aside. All right, so now we have to remove the black plastic trim underneath of that pre-painted one on the exterior. So we have 5 10 millimeter bolts, 2 on the side, 3 on the front. I'm going to use an extension and a 10 millimeter socket. All right, finally in the wheel well again, there's just one push pin clip. We're just gonna pop that guy out with our panel tool. All right, from here what we're gonna do is just pull back on this black plastic trim, disconnect it and set it aside, which exposes the bottom of our headlight and allows us to pull it out. All right, so now to remove our headlight, we have 2 10 millimeter bolts at the top. one on the inside, which is pretty deep in. You'll definitely need an extension to get to. All right, now to get to that last one here, you're gonna go to the far bottom right corner of your taillight, go straight in, and you'll meet another black 10mm bolt. All right, from here it's real simple. Pull straight back to remove your headlight. Now what you wanna do is pinch and disconnect the factory harness. There's one up top, two of these guys on the back end. Perfect, now you can set this aside.
So now with our grille removed, we have a little bit of disassembly to do. We have to transfer our whole shutter assembly as well as our emblem over to our new one. So I'm gonna start at the top here with our 4 push clips. I'm gonna grab a clip remover tool and pop those out. So now we can unbolt our shutter assembly from the grille. We've got 2 nuts on each side, and then there's also an 8mm screw in the middle. Now ours is missing, but that's just gonna be right in here behind the emblem. So grab a 10mm socket to remove this nut. Now if that stud spins like they like to, we can get a clip remover tool behind it to apply some pressure to be able to get it out. Now those came out nice and easy, but if they were spinning, just take your clip remover tool, get it right back behind there, and pry up, and that'll put enough pressure on the nut to hold the stud. And then do that same thing on the other side. And now with those 4 nuts and that center screw removed, you can lift up on your shutter assembly and just put that to the side for now. And the last thing we need off our stock grille is our emblem. So we're just gonna take a 10mm socket, remove these 2 nuts, and then we'll just slide right out the other side. And just lift up on your grill and slide that emblem out. So now we can start assembling our new grill. I'm gonna start with our emblem here. Tilt your grill up, line up your holes, press that into place, and then grab those 2 nuts that we pulled off of it before. And then take your 10mm socket, tighten it down. If you've got good access to this one we're gonna need a shallow socket for. So now I switched up to a 1/4 inch ratchet with a shallow 10mm socket. Tighten this one down. Now next we have new hardware to bolt down our shutter assembly with. So we're gonna take the bolts and slide them into our mounts. And kind of just go ahead and wiggle them in. And if you need to, you can give it a light tap with a hammer to get it seated in there. Don't hit it too hard because you are going into plastic here. And then do that same thing on the other side. So now before we get our shutter assembly in here, we're gonna get our wiring situated. Now the first thing you need to figure out is which side you want the majority of your wires going to. You are gonna have to wire into both sides, but one side you'll only have to put a turn signal wire in for. Now for me, I'm gonna run it over to the driver side, which is this side here on the table. So for the harness for our white DRLs that run around, you have the side that has the white and the yellow, black, and red wire. That's going over to my driver's side. And then the other side, you have your white and black that go into this connector, and then you just have the yellow that you have to wire in. So that's going over there. I'll plug this side in. And I'll plug in the one on the other side as well. And then for our center 3, we have a different harness. Plug these 3 in. Got my wire going over to what will be my passenger side. And then we just need to find a way to clean up all these extra wires. So now we're gonna go back and clean up all of our wires. Now the best way I found to do this is by using these zip tie clips. You've got a double-sided tape side that's gonna stick down, and then you run a zip tie through here, and you can tie up your wires and run them nicely across here. So I've got a few of these and zip ties of different lengths. So we're gonna have different amounts of wire bunched up in here as we go across. You wanna stay on the outer lip of this channel, because closer in you're gonna have that shutter assembly. So I've got that one stuck down. I'm gonna get this big connector over here, keep it away from the shutter assembly. Slide my zip tie through, grab the other side. I'm gonna get it loosely connected for now. And once I have it where I like it, tighten that down. Then you can take a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters, cut off the excess of your zip tie. And we're just gonna do a bunch of those, working our way around. I'm gonna leave this yellow wire hanging out because that needs to go out the side. Now on the passenger side of our grill, where we have the majority of our wires running to, we have a ton of extra wiring here. So what I'm gonna do is cut all of this down to about 1.5 feet of excess wire, which is still gonna be more than enough. I'm just gonna lump it all together. And I'm probably gonna make a cut right around here. We'll have a good bit of wire there. We're just going to our headlight to get our power and ground and turn signal. So we don't need to go very far. And we've got wire to go almost to the back of the truck here. So just grab your diagonal cutters, just make a cut right there, and then we can start our wiring. So now that we've made our cut, we need to get some of this wire out of the looms here. Now on this one, you can use wire strippers to strip that back. And that'll give us some nice wire. Now if we need any more, we can go back in there. I might just take a little bit more off here. Give myself some good wire to work with. Now on this one, it's a little looser, so we can get some diagonal cutters in there. Make sure you're not cutting the wire. Put a slit there, and then you can peel that back. I'm just gonna get about as much wire sticking out as I did from the other one. And then just bend this back and cut it. And now you can choose to wire this up however you'd like. The way I'm going to be doing it is by using male spade connectors on these wires, and I'm going to get T-taps on the wires on the headlight, and then we'll make our connection that way. If you have a different way you like doing this, by all means, go ahead. So I'm just going to get my wire strippers and strip back some lead on all 5 of my wires here. And now the yellow wire is just going to be by itself. So twist up some lead there. Slide a male spade connector on it. And then take your wire crimpers. Crimp down on that connector. And then just give it a good tug. Make sure it's not going anywhere. Now over here, we're going to be tying our 2 red wires together, as well as our 2 black wires. These are both going to be for our daytime running lights. Just line it up and twist those 2 together. slide your spade connector over your wires, and then take your wire crimpers to crimp down on it. Give it a tug, make sure it's on there. And then we're gonna do that same thing with our black. Crimpers on there. We'll crimp that down. Now on the other side, we have our wire for just our turn signal. Once again, we've got a good 10 feet of wire here. So I'm just gonna trim this down, give a good 1.5 feet. A little too much weed there. And then slide our male spade connector on top of it. And just give it a good crimp. Followed by a tug, make sure it's not going anywhere. And then we can move on to installing our shutter assembly. So now we can line up our shutter assembly with the 3 pins on the bottom here, as well as the 4 studs that we pressed in earlier. And then we can install the 4 new nuts that we have for those studs. And these nuts are all going in the same location that the factory ones did. And then we're just gonna take a 10mm socket to snug these up. Now don't go crazy with this, because the only thing capturing those studs is plastic, so you can't just cause it to spin and then not grab. And now back at the top of the grill, last thing we need to do for the assembly is just reinstall our 4 push clips. So now we're over at our headlight bucket. I've got myself a test light here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the truck, I'm going to turn on the hazards as well as the daytime running lights. And then we're going to be probing in our connectors to find the power source for our daytime running lights as well as our turn signal. Now this small 2-wire connector is the connector for our daytime running lights. We've got 2 wires, so we just need to find the power on this, and then we can assume that the other one's ground. For our turn signals, that's going to be on this tan connector. So I'm going to go inside the truck, turn on our daytime running lights and our turn signals, and then we'll probe in here and find what's what. So now I've got my test light ground side hooked up to a bare metal bolt. I'm going to start on this connector. We're just going to go and touch each of these pins until we get this lighting up. Now right here we have a solid light. That's not what we're looking for. This one's blinking, so that's going to be the one that's the turn signal. So if we flip that over, we can see that's connected to this yellow wire. Now we have this teed off to a female spade connector, which will also work with the male spade connectors that we put on those wires. You can also use this T-tap. This metal fork will just wrap around the wire. You close this up with some pliers and that would cut into the wire. And then you can stick your male spade connector into there. Either one of these is an acceptable way to do it. So now we'll just grab our small 2-pin connector here and we'll just go for a solid light. And we've got it on this pin, which is this yellow and black wire. So the yellow and black is going to be our power here, and this black one with the gray strip is going to be our ground. So now as you can see, we already have a couple T-taps hooked up to this, so I'm not going to be adding more to it, but just like I said before, wrap that fork around the wire, close it up, take pliers to crimp it down, and you just want that clip to fit into that gap, and that's how you know you have it good and tightened down. So now I've got my grill sitting on the table right in front of the truck so I can connect up my wires. Now like I said before, the red for the power is going to be going to this yellow and black wire. So you can slide your male spade into that T-tap. And then our ground, same thing, going into the black with the gray strip. So that's all set up. And then we'll take our turn signal wire. If you did a T-tap, just plug it in the same way as that. We already have this wire teed off. So just slide your male spade connector into that female spade connector. And now we can get our headlight in here, plug everything in. You can do the same exact thing on the other side for your turn signal wire. You don't have a power and ground for your daytime running light on that side. So do that, and then we can install our headlights. So now we can go ahead and reinstall our headlights. Grab your 3 connectors, plug them in. Press them in until you hear that click. And slide your headlight into place. Make sure none of your wires are caught on anything. Start tucking them back into that gap. And then I'm just going to take the 2 screws at the top, just thread those in a couple threads, hold it for now while we install that lower panel. Now next we can reinstall our lower clip piece. We have these 2 clips here that are going to slide into here. So we're going to get that all lined up first. Press that up and in, and then that'll line up this clip. We want to get a bolt in that first to hold those clips into place, make sure they don't pop out. And then we can install the rest of our bolts. Got the one deep in there in this pocket. And then we also have our push clip that goes right here. And then we can take our 10mm socket, go back, tighten all of these down. And then we've got that one more bolt to install at the side here. Let's get that started with a 10mm socket and extension. And that's where we wrapped it on it, tighten it down. And then come back up top, tighten down those 2 bolts, and then repeat that process on the other side. So now I got that table that the grill is sitting on pulled out of here. I just have it sitting on the bumper now. So we're gonna walk this in while tucking our wires into that headlight bucket. You also wanna make sure that these covers are out of the way as you're walking this in. Feed those wires back into that headlight bucket. And then on the sides with our covers, we can press in all those push clips. And then we can reinstall our bolts at the top. Now we can come to the top of our grill and reinstall our 4 upper grill bolts. And then while we're up here, we'll get these 2 connectors as well. Press those in until you hear a click. And then grab a 10mm socket and tighten all these down. And now we'll get our radiator cover in place. Slide that under your intake snorkel. And then you can reinstall all of your push clips. Now come to the bottom corner of your grill and reinstall your lower grill bolt. Got 1 on each side. And then tighten that down with a 13mm socket. And do the same thing on the other side. Next we can get our headlight surround in place. You kind of want to start out here and then angle it in like that to get the clips in the right spot. And And then up top, you grab your push clip, press that into place, and then we'll go to the wheel well and get those 2 screws. Now come over to your wheel well, thread your screws into your 2 holes, and then grab a 7mm socket, tighten them down, and do the same thing on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Red Rock Baja upper replacement grill with LED DRL and sequential turn signals for your 2015 to 17 F-150 excluding Raptor. Thank you for watching, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.